It's Derby Day on the south coast as Portsmouth and Southampton go head-to-head in Hampshire for the very first time in the Women's Championship. Welcome along to Fratton Park as Blue take on Red in a famous fixture, making its second-tier debut. Southampton look to continue their promotion challenge after an encouraging start to the season. Portsmouth, on the other hand, desperately need points on the board, having lost their first 5 games at this level since 2012. It's been 2 years since the last South Coast derby in the league, but last season did throw up an FA Cup meeting, with Southampton coming out on top. With Saints winning each of the last 4, Portsmouth are not only playing for points today, local pride and bragging rights are at stake too. Well, Jay Sadler makes 5 changes this afternoon. Scarlett Williams makes her Women's Championship debut alongside birthday girl Annie Hutchings in defence. Sophie Barker, Sophie Kirk and Emma Jones are the other alterations. Georgie Freeland retains her midfield spot. She's from a family of Pompey fans, but made more than 100 appearances for today's opposition. Remy Allen makes just 1 change to Southampton's last Women's Championship. Peake is the only player who didn't start that 2-0 win over Sheffield United. Rachel Rowe was shortlisted for the league's Player of the Month award after 3 assists from 3 games. Molly Pike and Aston Villa loanee Freya Gregory join her in attack. Well, it's the first time that Jay Sadler's side have returned to Fratton Park since they closed in on the National League title with a 4-0 victory over Rugby Borough last season. Southampton last visited in 2021. They picked up 3 points on that occasion in the Women's National League, thanks to Danielle Rowe's late own goal. And Southampton fans have travelled in their numbers this afternoon, but there are plenty more watching live 20 miles away on the Women's Championship YouTube channel from the new Northam Fan Zone at St Mary's Stadium ahead of their annual charity match day. It sees Saints legends go up against a Russell Martin 11 for the Saints Foundation. So, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us as we take you through what is sure to be a fiery affair on the south coast. This afternoon's referee is Izzy Chaplin. She's from Suffolk and she is vastly experienced, despite still being in her early 20s. You'll see her there, centre of the picture. She started officiating 9 years ago, but has already worked her way up to the Women's Championship. She's also assisted in the Champions League too. Today she'll be assisted by Phoebe Horner and Julia Kings. Joanne Harwood is the 4th official. And I mentioned about the FA Cup meeting between these two sides last season. It was actually Gemma Purfield who delivered that decisive moment, earning Southampton a 4th consecutive win over their bitter rivals. She's the Southampton captain, having been named that by Remy Allen in the summer. Reba Casley, you'd have seen her on the left of your screen there, wears the Portsmouth armband this afternoon. So all set at Fratton Park. Southampton going for 5 in a row against Portsmouth. And the Blues just desperate to get a point on the board on their return to the Women's Championship. Here we go then, Southampton to get us all kicked off. And immediately they're looking out for Freya Gregory on the left-hand side. She actually scored her first goal for the club against Sheffield United last time out in the league. This is positive from the home side. Megan Hornby waiting support from Annie Hutchings behind her, celebrating her 20th birthday today, the fullback. Now Kendall holds off Hutchings. Remy Allen, the Southampton manager, was speaking ahead of this game. It is her first South Coast derby today, but she has urged the Southampton side to focus on playing the game rather than the occasion. She is a manager who likes to implement a passing strategy. There have been a couple of early balls by her side that haven't found the intended target. It will just be up to her and up to the captain, Gemma Purfield, just to calm them down. Remy Allen, of course, a new face in this fixture. Jay Sadler, the Portsmouth manager, is actually now in his 8th year as the Pompey head coach. The last 7 of those have been full-time. He has won 5 Hampshire Cups in that time, including victory in the final against Southampton 4 years ago. It's a nice take on the turn by Rachel Rowe, has Molly Pike ahead of her for a chance. Off the crossbar, surely on the follow-up. Lucia Kendall couldn't turn it home, but that is exactly why Southampton are so dangerous. It's a brilliant take by Rachel Rowe, and the pass through to find Molly Pike as well was excellent, and Eve Annetts wasn't anywhere near getting on that one. Goalkeeper indebted to the frame of her goal. Hutchings. Here's Jones. And look at Sophie Kirk going forward. Kirk goes for it herself, and that one doesn't harm Fran Stenson's goal. Both sides, though, in the early stages, not shy in getting forward. Portsmouth are still waiting to score their first goal from open play from their own player this season. They did score against London City Lionesses last time out. It did actually go in off Chantal Boy-Halorka during that defeat. Their only other goal was in the League Cup, which was a penalty scored by Megan Hornby. Purfield with the throw-in, looking for Pike. Read by Hutchings, who wins the free kick. Arrived from Manchester City in the summer, having come through the Manchester United Academy. She also had 2 short spells with Blackburn. Casley, who looks to switch play. Again, Pike was looking to get in behind. Casley will take over after good defensive reading there. Lizzie Collins. Southampton have it back. Very end-to-end in this opening 5 minutes. Portsmouth, of course, new to this division, having got promoted last season. They actually won 20 of their 22 games and scored 125 goals in all competitions along the way. Southampton, meanwhile, finished 4th, 7 points off the sole promotion spots, with 13 wins from 22. Get the impression the longer this goes on and the longer it remains goalless, Portsmouth will fancy a bit of an upset. Gregory offside. Hutchings. Tackled by Gregory. Be an interesting matchup as this game wears on. Two youngsters full of energy, full of running. Here's Kendall. Turns away from Sophie Barker. Very nearly had her side on the front foot there as Portsmouth are able to escape with possession. Here's Freeland looking for Collins in that wide area. Emma Jones had made the move outfield in support, but instead Portsmouth are going to go to the opposite flank. It's given straight back to Gregory. Can Southampton counter themselves? Rowe ducking away from Barker and then away from Freeland. And looking for Pike in the channel. It's a brilliant through ball, and Pike denied by an excellent sliding save from Eve Annetts. It's the second time that she's got in behind the Portsmouth back line. Molly Pike. It's brave goalkeeping by Eve Annetts, on loan from Manchester City. Still just 18 years old. That will certainly help with her confidence. Amy Palmer to deliver this corner kick. Helped back in, but that one's going to run out quite easily for the Portsmouth goal kick. Annetts did sign pro with Manchester City, having joined after 10 years at Reading in the summer. Has represented England's under-19 side. She was actually a teammate of Southampton's Megan Collett, who in turn, the fullback, is making her South Coast derby bow, having come through the Southampton Academy. She is very much the poster girl for their centre of excellence. Palmer rides the challenge, draws the foul from Georgie Freeland, who is just going to have a bit of a talking to. That's a final warning from Izzy Chaplin. Chance for Southampton to throw bodies forward into the Portsmouth penalty area. Approaching 10 minutes on the clock. Annetts very quickly, very assuredly claimed that one. It's a loud shout from the Portsmouth goalkeeper. Barker. Portsmouth looking to just go up through the gears here, and they've done well to release Emma Jones in the wide area. Her delivery was very nearly met by Meg Hornby. Fran Stenson did well to deal with the physicality. It's been a slightly mixed start to the season for Southampton. Kicked it off on the opening day of a 1-1 draw against Bristol City, and then there was the defeat against Blackburn that was sandwiched by victories against Sunderland and Sheffield United. Paige Peake had to get across there smartly to stop Megan Hornby in her tracks. It does mean that Portsmouth had their first set piece of the afternoon. It's a deep delivery, still yet to be cleared before it was Eventually hooked away. Here's Izzy Collins. Ooh, but that's loose. Given straight back to Molly Pike. We know what she can do from distance. Scored a stunning lob against Sunderland after Rihanna Dean had done similar just moments before. She certainly spotted Annette off her line there. Shanked out of play by Casley. Perfield. Nice turn by Lucia Kendall to get herself away from Portsmouth midfielders. She was looking for the return from Molly Pike. It was cut out, and now this is where Portsmouth can try to hit Southampton on the break. But after failing to control the ball, Meg Hornby commits the foul. Stenson quite happy to clear her lines, looking long for Gregory. It was a good challenge, actually, by Annie Hutchings. It's one for Hornby to chase. It's Collett who got there ahead of her. Griffiths. Loose from Peak. And here comes Jones. Hornby for support, goes first time. Stenson unmoved in the Southampton goal. Well, Hornby certainly has been the liveliest of Portsmouth's attacking threats. Perhaps had more time than she thought there. Plenty of space for Rachel Rowe to come and collect that ball. She's got it back under her spell again, and there goes Molly Pike once more. In behind. Runners up there with her. Lucia Kendall waiting for the delivery into the box, and it was cleared out. Under pressure, but Rachel Rowe has it back. The save pushed only as far as Gregory, and that was some crucial last-ditch defending by Izzy Collins, who had to make that challenge. Well, Portsmouth did well to get back in their numbers. Firstly, it was Collins who blocked that cross out. But then Rachel Rowe was quickest to react. And after that save by Annette, oh, Izzy Collins needed to get there first. And she certainly did. Still danger to be cleared, though, for Portsmouth, who are yet to keep a clean sheet this season. Again, it's deep, it's delivered on the line, and it required a brilliant bit of defending. I think it was Reva Casley who got the final touch. Annette was scrambling. Looked destined to be curling into that far corner from Amy Palmer. Who will now get another go at it. Out swinging this time, though. Two arms up from Palmer. This time it's a driven delivery. She does get a second bite of the cherry. It will be cleared by Erin McLaughlin. You can hear Remy Allen on the touchline there, just shouting at her goalkeeper, Fran Stenson. Hold on to it for a second, let the team get back into shape. Southampton do like to build from the back, as we'll see with Tara Bourne here. Peak spotted a gap. And they're certainly not short of pace going forward. Here's Gregory. Onto her left foot. It's Gregory! And it wasn't too far away either. Well, she is now finding her feet in a Southampton shirt, Freya Gregory. And having scored last time out in the league. Her eyes lit up for a second there. Southampton certainly having the better chances of this game. Hit the crossbar through Molly Pike. Freya Gregory going close there as well. Still no way past Ivanets in the Portsmouth goal. Peak. McLaughlin couldn't bring it under her spell. So Griffiths takes charge. Southampton just starting to turn the screw. Looking much more assured in possession than their bitter rivals. Perfield finds Rowe, who's taken out by Scarlett Williams. Leaving her mark on her second tier debut. And there's a card to mark the occasion as well. Scarlett Williams, I don't think, could have too many complaints for that one. She will now form part of the four-player Portsmouth wall, as issued by Ivanets in goal. Amy Palmer stood over it for Southampton. Palmer did score Southampton's first goal of the season. She's got another opportunity here. It's Palmer who gets well underneath it. Well, she went for power. Sometimes when you go for too much power, you completely lose the accuracy, which is exactly what happened there. Someone who knows what it takes to succeed at this level, Amy Palmer. She was a very shrewd summer signing from Leicester, a two-time championship winner with Bristol City and Manchester United as well. Still just 24 years old, adds a bit more steel and experience into that Southampton midfield. This is much better worked by Portsmouth, who are playing better football in the Southampton half now. Emma Jones can carry it forward. Hornby just the wrong side of her. And Southampton clear. Williams is looking for Jones again, who may profit from that. The reaction from Paige Peak not so good. Rowe is probably the league's most informed player at the moment. You can't argue with that one. Fancy her chances in any one-on-one as Amy Palmer wins Southampton another free kick on the halfway line. Bourne. Very nearly a lovely take by Rachel Rowe, who's given a lot to do by a centre-back, but it's been won back by Kirk, who spots Hornby. What a brilliant ball that could turn out to be. Hornby waiting for options before delivering, looking for the return into Sophie Kirk. It's just taken away from her. There have been moments from both teams where they've spotted the gap in behind the opposition defence. It feels as though that will be how one of these two sides becomes unlocked. Jones. Earns her team the free kick after initial confusion. She thought that Izzy Chaplin had given a goal kick. Actually, this could work out very well for the Blues. Amy Palmer, the one-player wall for Southampton. Hornby on her left is one option for Portsmouth. She does take charge. Hornby delivers. Casley back in. Southampton doing enough to scrape it away. And look at this counter-attack led by Molly Pike, who spotted Gregory in acres of space. Pike wants to return past Gregory. May well go alone. She's held up by Portsmouth in the end, and the momentum from this Southampton attack momentarily stalls. But it's Collett who keeps things alive. Her ball in is good. It's Gregory. Pike's there. And still going, Molly Pike. And off the line yet again by a Portsmouth player. Desperate last-ditch defending by Portsmouth, but so far it's been effective. And back again. What a game, by the way, Izzy Collins is having. Just seems to be in the right place at the right time whenever that ball drops inside the 18-yard box. Here is the 21-year-old Collins. Hutchings. Ball into the channel for Hornby to chase. Very nearly got the nutmeg on Tara Bourne. Rowe can bring Southampton forward. And look at how direct she is. Rachel Rowe running with the ball. But again, Izzy Collins didn't give up. Makes a crucial intervention. It's no surprise that Izzy Collins requires a bit of treatment. She's been putting her body in the way of everything. It was the latest Southampton surge forward. It was Molly Pike here. Shot was cleared off the line by Izzy Collins. As I mentioned, not for the first time this afternoon. The fullback has managed to get her body in the way. It is her second spell in the Women's Championship, Izzy Collins. She did play for Lewis before her 2022 arrival at Portsmouth. Actually became the 9th player to sign pro during the summer, following an impressive end to last season.
I won't need to do it again.
She has become a really important part of the way that Jay Sadler wants his team to defend, and also launch some counter-attacks as well. So hopefully she will be able to continue. Looks as though she will give it another go. In the meantime, though, it is a Portsmouth throw-in that was won, of course, by the brilliant tracking from Izzy Collins. Taken by Hutchings. And back by Palmer. Here's Collett. And again, the academy graduate looking for Molly Pike, who appreciates the intention. Thumbs up from her. Rowe tidying things up again. Given away by Collett. And now here comes Kirk. Needs a bit of support, Sophie Kirk. She gets it from Hornby, whose ball in was decent. Still danger not yet cleared by Southampton. There's a half-hearted appeal by some Portsmouth players for a penalty. Izzy Chaplin unmoved. It was Emma Jones who was coming in at the near post, and then it was Erin McLaughlin who went to ground. I think referee Izzy Chaplin just saying it was a bit too... She went down a bit too easily. The Republic of Ireland international, who's now just hooking that one back in. Kirk will keep things alive. Here's Rachel Rowe. Pike again, the intended target. I do wonder there whether Rachel Rowe perhaps could have actually started running at Scarlett Williams, who is on a yellow card already. Hornby looking to turn the Southampton defenders back towards their own goal. Hornby's ball in looks for Jones, and it's away inside the 6-yard box. Freeland will look to keep Portsmouth moving. And here comes Kendall. Palmer. Purfield invited forward on the left-hand side. Not seen too much of her in an attacking sense in this first half, but Gregory can get the better of her marker, and it took a wicked deflection of Collins on the way through. Eve Annetts was equal to it. Could have ended up anywhere. Pike trying to turn away from Casley. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other is the verdict by the officials. Given away in midfield, Palmer. Gregory with the first time ball for Pike, who had gone slightly too early. It is worth pointing out that all 6 of Southampton's goals this season have come in the second half of their league fixtures. Only Blackburn have managed to shut them out this season. Defensively as well, they've looked pretty sound under Remy Allen. They're looking for their 3rd Women's Championship shutout in their last 4 league fixtures. So often these derby matches throw those form books right out of the window. so far, Portsmouth are doing well to go toe-to-toe with a side who have been more established in this division in recent years. Gregory. Griffiths just enough to hold on to it under pressure from Georgie Freeland. Palmer for Perfield. Gregory with the step overs. Gets the better of Hutchings too, but once more Collins is right behind her. Unable though to keep that one in play. It will be another Southampton corner. And if you remember, the last time that Amy Palmer had one from this side, she very nearly found the far top corner, were it not for Reva Casley's last-ditch intervention. So 33 minutes approaching on the clock. Palmer's ball in. Looping up towards the far post again. Annetts did just enough to get on it, and Scarlett Williams will clear under pressure. Meg Hornby's done well to just relieve a bit of pressure on the home side's defence. Kirk, lovely turn of pace on that far side. Still going and able to trouble the Southampton defenders as well, and Portsmouth have gone from defending a corner to winning one in a very short space of time. Hornby again takes responsibility. Williams, Casley, Jones, all making their runs. Deep delivery, McLaughlin headed back across goal. Freeland was arriving, it was taken away from her. And Rowe is beaten to it. Diligent defending by the Portsmouth number 9, Emma Jones. Away by Perfield. Better play in midfield, much tighter. Working out wide quickly as well, but Meg Hornby had strayed offside. Perfield looking down the line for Molly Pike. We found a lot of joy in the opening stages of this game, running in behind. Portsmouth have limited her in that sense in the past 15 minutes or so, as Gregory committed the foul on this near side. Collins. Southampton back in their numbers on this left-hand side of their defence. Stenson under pressure from Hornby. But again, this is how Remy Allen wants her side to play. They want to invite the press and try to play their way through it. They've done very well to get themselves this far up the pitch. Griffiths taking just a bit too long on it under the pressure from Freeland. Fairfield, Southampton captain, waiting for options to open up. There's Gregory. Kendall. Now Collett. Back with Palmer. Peak goes over the top this time. It's Megan Collett, the Southampton right back, who had surged forwards. Scarlett Williams could only play it out of play. Kendall. It wasn't the worst ball in the world. Nobody in a Southampton shirt had made that run into the penalty area to trouble Eve Annett. Away by Casley. Portsmouth just struggling to hold on to the ball at the moment. Southampton will come straight back at them. Gregory. Twisted Hutchings inside and out, and again it was Collins who got her head behind the cross. She'll sleep well tonight, I think, Izzy Collins. She has been everywhere defensively for Portsmouth, and she's certainly going to have a few bruises as well. But if things do stay the same, I think she'll probably say it was worth it. Does have a Southampton corner to contend with first, though. In from Palmer. Once more away at that near post. Back in by Gregory, and it's been turned past Eve Annett. Reva Casley it was. Wrong place at the wrong time, the Portsmouth defender. But it was fiercely struck, wasn't it? By Freya Gregory. Reva Casley tried to adjust her feet and just couldn't in the end. Took a horrible ricochet off the Portsmouth captain, and it means that Southampton are rewarded for their dominance in possession. Portsmouth 0, Southampton 1. In the first ever Barclays Women's Championship South Coast derby. Southampton were just beginning to assert their dominance, certainly felt like, although He could be hit back immediately. Williams in field for Jones. Couldn't get the shot off in the end. Ball just escaped her at the crucial moments. But it's McLaughlin! And again, not too far away. Fran Stenson at full stretch. Scarlett Williams did so well. Not only to win the ball back there, but also to drag Portsmouth downfield and carve out the initial opportunity for Jones. And now they have a corner. And it's wasteful by Megan Hornby. And it's going to make for an interesting half-time team talk for both coaches, because I feel like they probably would have been quite happy with what they would have seen from the first half. Rachel Rose managed to time this run to perfection. She's in behind. Pike's there with her. Rowe denied again by Annette at her near post. Back in by Collette. And eventually Freeland just pushes it behind for another Southampton corner. Well, they turned defence into attack in a split second there. Rachel Rowe going through completely unmarked. I think Molly Pike has every reason to be angry there. The ball wasn't pulled back. She was in a great goal-scoring position, the Southampton number 10. They scored from their last corner. What can Palmer conjure up here? Hooks back in. Just couldn't be kept down. Molly Pike it was with the left-footed attempt. Casley it was with the initial clearance, and on the half volley, you have to say, Annette's had it covered. Kendall. There's the run in behind. It's Molly Pike running through. Denied again, quite brilliantly by Eve Annette, who is certainly coming out on top in the one-on-one duels with the Southampton forwards this afternoon. Into the final seconds of this first 45. There will of course be time added on. We're hearing 2 minutes. Now, Remy Allen will just want her side to retain their composure and their focus defending here. It's been very difficult for them to get their noses in front. Oh, they don't need moments like that from Fran Stenson, who very nearly invited Meg Hornby to have a shot inside the 6-yard box. Hornby has to be careful here, the 24-year-olds. Just sent away by Izzy Chaplin. There won't be any further punishments. As I was saying, Remy Allen will just want to make sure that they get into half-time, both defending and attacking in a sensible way. They've worked so hard, Southampton, in this first half to break through this stubborn Portsmouth back line. 1 more minute to hold on, and then she gets an opportunity to issue a few more instructions to her side. Same with Jay Sadler as well. You wonder whether he'll stick or twist for the second half. They've made a good account of themselves so far, Portsmouth. There have been a few occasions where Southampton have been able to turn their back line, get in behind, but on the whole they've had opportunities to get forward too. couple of decent shots as well. Rowe pulling one back. It's hit by Kendall. Palmer keeps things going. Now Collett. Rowe ducks infield onto her left foot, and it was an inviting cross. Freya Gregory couldn't quite get there, and that will be it for the first half action at Fratton Park. Southampton deserving of their lead. They have dominated possession. They've had by far the better chances in the first. Welcome back to Fratton Park, where Southampton, no surprises there, are the first team back on the pitch, looking to pick up on that one-goal advantage that they were able to secure at the end of an action-packed first half in Hampshire. It was Reva Casley's own goal, cruelly flicked in following a really powerful strike by Freya Gregory, having failed to clear a Southampton corner. Doesn't look like either side have made any alterations at the half-time break. So as we were for the first half, and as I mentioned towards the end of that first 45 minutes, I think Jay Sadler can be very pleased and very proud of the way that his Portsmouth side were able to compete with Southampton. I imagine he's going to put his faith in these 11 players again to try to get themselves back on level pegging at least. For Southampton, for Remy Allen, it's an opportunity to assert their dominance even further. They had a number of chances in that first half, as we saw during the half-time highlights. Roll. Molly Pike and Rachel Rowe in particular, I think, will feel hard done by not to get their names on the score sheet, but there is still 45 minutes for them to try to find a way past a player who's turning into their nemesis in the Portsmouth goal, Eve Annett, still just 18 years old, on loan from Manchester City. What a first half performance she had. So all the checks done, and Izzy Chaplin, this afternoon's referee, will be getting us back underway for the second half of the first ever Barclays Women's Championship South Coast Derby. Here's Kirk. Showed flashes in that first half of why she's so highly rated on the South Coast. Third season playing in Portsmouth, Sophie Kirk, having joined them from Charlton 2 years ago. Casley gets there ahead of Molly Pike. Palmer hooks it away. Again, Southampton looking to exploit the gaps that may start to emerge in this Portsmouth back line. Certainly found a lot of joy from running in behind the home side's back line. Kirk, time to look up and pick her pass. It's left by Jones, and Meg Hornby wasn't able to get there ahead of Gemma Purfield. One back by Barker. Rowe. Challenged by Freeland, whose tackle was a good one. The second half starting exactly as the first did. A little scrappy in places, but direct nonetheless. Both sides look to catch the other one cold. Here's Barker. Freeland did actually play for Southampton, the Portsmouth midfielder, throwing a 1-0 Saints win here back in December 2021. She's actually been part of both Southampton and Portsmouth promotion-winning sides from the National League. Georgie Freeland. There she is, closing down Purfield. Palmer's continued her run forward. It looks as though Gregory was the intended target from that pass. Casley will deal with that one very easily. Barker. Freeland. There were periods in that first half where Portsmouth were able to get into their passing best. Certainly starting to ping the ball into each other with one-touch passes, keeping Southampton moving. They're struggling to get themselves on the ball in this second half. Collins did just enough there with the sliding challenge to take it away from Pike. Barker helps it forward, looking for McLaughlin. Brilliantly taken in her stride by Emma Jones, and here's Sophie Kirk running straight at Collett and getting the better of her too. There's a brilliant sliding challenge in the end by Gemma Purfield, one that needed to be made. Sophie Kirk did so well down this left-hand side. It was a loose touch initially by Purfield, but she made up for it there, denying Annie Hutchings the perfect birthday present. Hornby short this time for Kirk. And now back with Hutchings, who slipped and wasn't able to get the ball into the box. Now this will be an interesting race between her and Freya Gregory, and Hutchings takes one for the team. Well, it's a birthday card of sorts, you could say. The third Portsmouth player to go into the book. Gregory is on her bike again, led by Collins, and now here's Hutchings. Bundled over by Gregory, who gets her own back on the Portsmouth full-back. Quite happily playing the pantomime villain, I think, in front of the Portsmouth fans inside Fratton Park. Hutchings. Denied by Palmer. Freeland. Jones able to hold up the ball on the edge of the area, but outnumbered by the players in Southampton shirts. Freeland. Manages to get in behind Purfield here. Hutchings is closed down by Alice Griffiths, who wins her side a free kick. are a couple of full internationals in this Southampton side. Griffiths is one of them. Hutchings delivers towards the near post. It was Emma Jones who was the intended target. Now Gregory could drive her side forward. She's going to run straight at Izzy Collins, who again snaps into a challenge, and it's a fair one too. Nothing but respect from the two players after. It has felt at times this afternoon like there is no way past Izzy Collins. A brave battling performance by the Portsmouth defender. Kendall forced all the way back to Tara Bourne. Rowe was coming back from an offside position. Rowe again. Pike, the familiar combination on this right-hand side. Scarlett Williams took control momentarily, but Rose got it back at her feet. And it required a bit of defending from Erin McLaughlin. Has been asked to play a slightly deeper role in this game, the Portsmouth number 10. Traditionally found playing in attack, leading the line as well, as she did for Irish side P Mounts. Scored 21 times in 63 games for them. Here's Casley. Williams. McLaughlin loses possession. Rowe. Every now and again you hear something from one of the two coaches. They're very vocal on the touchline, Remy Allen and Jay Sadler. That latest one there was Sadler just telling his players that they need to move that ball quicker. Get out of these areas that could cause them problems. Southampton's goal in this game did come from a set piece. Palmer's over it again. It's an inviting delivery, and it was headed away by Casley. Kirk bundled off the ball. She'll win her side a free kick. But in Amy Palmer, Southampton do certainly have someone who can put a ball on a plate for the strikers. Gregory. Collett down the line for Rowe. Williams back with her this time. Did she keep that one in play? No, she didn't. Palmer. Perfield. Looking for Gregory. One back by Hutchings. Southampton were very momentarily out of position. There was an opportunity for Portsmouth to counter. Just lacked a bit of conviction, a bit of quality in possession. And it's a chance wasted. Kendall goes herself. It's not going to trouble Annetts. Goal scoring has been a major issue for Portsmouth since their promotion in the summer. Only 2 goals in all competitions. The first goal they scored this season actually was a penalty in a 6-1 defeat to West Ham United in the League Cup. And then their second came last time out in a 5-1 defeat to London City Lionesses. And that itself was an own goal. It took until match day 5 for their first Women's Championship goal. And their wait may be prolonged for one of their players to get on the score sheets. Kendall, Thoreau, tricky customer on this right-hand side. Portsmouth have really struggled to deal with her when she's got going, but it's Collett who's on the overlapping run inside the penalty area. The Southampton Academy graduates scores at Fratton Park against her side's bitter rivals to make it 2 and to score her first goal of the season. Well, she seemed to have acres and so much time, but there was still so much to do with the finish. And the 19-year-old, well, didn't she take it well? She only signed pro last year. She finished that one like an accomplished striker. Southampton double their lead through one of their own. Special moments for Megan Collett. And now Portsmouth really do face an uphill battle. Jay Sadler, in his pre-match comments, talked about how much they would need the fans inside Fratton Park to turn this into a fortress, to come with the noise, to make it atmospheric. But at the moment, all you can hear are the Southampton fans. They will, however, react with a change. So coming on is Lily Dent, and leaving the field is Annie Hutchings. Lily Dent still just 18 years old, but she is a forward. She's currently on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion. She did make 4 senior appearances for the Seagulls. And now she has a chance to try to endear herself to the fans of another South Coast club. An hour on the clock, and Southampton cruising towards another 3 points in the Women's Championship, and it will be a 5th straight South Coast derby win. That is, unless Portsmouth can conjure something up. Here's Dent, the substitutes. First foray forward for her And the ball in was good too, and so unfortunate that Megan Hornby was just behind play. Freeland, Jones, needs support on the right-hand side. Gets it from Collins. Kirk on the half volley. Easily saved by Fran Stenson. As things stand in the two, I should say the three derbies today. Southampton winning here by 2-0. It might get even better for them actually. Lucia Kendall on the overlap. Her pullback just needed somebody to tap that one home. Portsmouth live to fight another day for now. It's 2-0 in the South Coast derby. It's also 2-0 in the Tyne Wear derby. Newcastle leading at Sunderland. There is a London derby as well. London City Lionesses leading by a 0-0 at home to Charlton. And Bristol City are currently a goal to the good against Blackburn Rovers as well. Another minor concern for Portsmouth. So while the players receive some tactical instructions, here is a dream moment for Megan Collett on her very first South Coast derby appearance. Probably couldn't believe her luck running through practically unmarked. Sophie Kirk had a long old way to trudge back to try to keep pace with the 19-year-old. And the finish, she kept her composure and just dinked it over the on-rushing Eve Annette's brilliantly taken goal. And Southampton have been good value for their 2-goal lead. Megan Collett would have dreamt of that last night, and how good it would have felt to put one into the back of the net against your biggest rivals. As mentioned before, she came all the way through the Southampton Academy system. She is the poster girl, or one of the two poster girls, I should say, in this squad. Millie Mott, the other one, on the bench. But this afternoon, it's all about Megan Collett and the impacts that she has been able to make. The physios seem happy. It looks as though Emma Jones will be able to continue. She's one of the most experienced players in this Portsmouth lineup. Another player as well who has Champions League experience during her spell with Linköping back in 2018. Williams. McLaughlin. Now Kirk. Able to dart in field. It wasn't the worst ball. It was a good idea by Portsmouth's number 12, Lily Dent. Just a yard or so off it on that occasion. Freya Gregory is the player who requires a bit of treatment. She's been a real live wire on the left-hand side of Southampton's attack, having scored her first goal for the club since joining on loan from Aston Villa last time out. Remy Allen, who actually played alongside her during their time together at Aston Villa, said that everyone at Southampton, everyone at Aston Villa knows all about Gregory's qualities. It's just about whether or not she can kick on. She certainly picked up where she left off against Sheffield United, but this will be worrying for Southampton and their manager as well. Quite the extent of this injury. We know it's going to be a really, really tight promotion battle at the top of the Women's Championship this season. 6 games played already. Birmingham City leading the way. On the City Lionesses, if they can hold off Charlton, who are also in the mix, will be very hot on the heels of the Brummies. And then just behind them is Durham and Southampton, who both have a game in hand and who are flying high themselves. Southampton could move just 3 points behind Birmingham, and Durham are just 1 point behind, but with that vital game in hand. So should they win that, they will be the ones to beat. Meanwhile, for Portsmouth, well, currently sat right at the bottom of the Women's Championship. Just 1 goal scored, 19 now conceded. 6 games, 6 defeats, unless they can do something about it in the final 20 minutes at Fratton Park. Perfield finally gets us back underway from the throw-in. Should Southampton win this game, their next match is actually against Birmingham at St Mary's next Sunday. And then, following that, they've got Charlton away to kick off November before Durham at home. And then, the small matter of a trip to the northeast to take on Newcastle United. It's a really, really crucial point in their season. Collette this time had gone too early. So a change then. Freya Gregory deemed not fit to continue. So Rihanna Dean will come on in her place. Not a bad substitute to have. Your leading goal scorer. 3 goals in her last 3 league games. That includes a brace at Sunderland. McLaughlin. Collins. McLaughlin. Under pressure from Rowe. Thankfully for her, had Scarlett Williams in support. And here goes Hornby. Prodded on. That's one for Molly Pike to chase. Advantage will be played. Collins is no slouch. Still going, Collins with another big challenge. Oh, the Pompey fans love her, and you can see why. Eventually the free kick is awarded and treatment will be allowed for the Southampton player who is currently down. It's as though Sophie Barker took a bit of a knock as well. It was certainly a heavy collision on the halfway line, but referee Izzy Chaplin was well within her rights there to wave advantage. We mentioned about Southampton's next few weeks. Portsmouth don't have it any easier. Bristol City away next Sunday, then they have their rest week at the start of November, and they're going to need it as well, because when they come back they'll be hosting fellow strugglers Sheffield United on November the 10th, before a Lancashire trip to face Blackburn. And then another date that will have been marked in on the calendar. Portsmouth will be hosting Southampton yet again in the rematch in the Women's League Cup on November the 24th. Portsmouth, bottom of the Women's League Cup Group C, having lost 6-1 to West Ham United last time out. Southampton just ahead of them in third, having been beaten by London City Lionesses. Just a reminder as well that the Women's Championship YouTube channel and indeed the Women's Super League YouTube channel are the place to be this season. All of the non-televised Women's Super League and Women's Championship games can be found on YouTube, the new home for the first and second tiers of women's football in England. Full match replay, highlights, and of course live streams like this one. It looks as though it's going to be an unfortunate end to Lucia Kendall's afternoon. A hug from her former teammate Georgie Freeland, the Portsmouth number 7, as she left the field. Two played together, and actually Lucia Kendall scored against Portsmouth during the 2022 National League success. Actually beat Portsmouth 2-0 to win the title that season and clinch promotion. Kirk. Freeland looking for Jones. Still battling away in there, the Portsmouth number 9. Southampton back to 11. It does look as though Lucia Kendall is going to be able to continue. Desperate to see out this victory at Fratton Park. Griffiths. Spotted Collette in plenty of space. She in turn sees green grass ahead of her, but the ball cut out by Sophie Barker. Dent. Kendall. Brilliant at carrying the ball forward. Collette's ball in, wasn't convincingly cleared this time by Collins. Kept alive by Pike, who wanted the free kick. Instead it's Kirk who emerges with possession. Held up by Hornby. Good footwork by her as well to get away from Paige Peak. Needs to make the right choice here. It goes to Jones. Too much on the cross by Emma Jones. She'll be disappointed. She'll know she's better than that. A really rare Portsmouth attack in this second half. Comes to nothing. Sinton's clearance is picked out by Collins. Barker. Williams taking a risk up against Rihanna Dean. Gets away with it, as does Sophie Kirk there. The ball looked to have gone out. Into the final 10 minutes at Fratton Park. Now or never for Portsmouth. They need to get themselves back into this game. It's Southampton who look more like scoring. Casley. Another change for Portsmouth then. Emma Jones in the field, Daisy McLaughlin coming on in her place. And then the second change sees Annie Rolfe replacing Sophie Barker in midfield. And then the Southampton change sees Amy Palmer leave the field to be replaced by the returning Chloe Peplow, who came off the bench to make her first appearance of the season against London City Lionesses last time out in the League Cup. This is her first Women's Championship appearance of the season since coming back from her injury. McLaughlin. First opportunity for her to get involved. And she wins her side a corner kick as well. Hornby to take. 82 minutes on the clock. Portsmouth leading or losing by 2-0. And it was Casley with the header. And you can tell from her reaction that was not too far away. Again, Hornby out swinging with the left foot, and Casley, a player of her quality in the air, knows what a big chance that was. (2,319 fans in attendance at Fratton Park. Can Kirk send them home with something to celebrate at least? Oh, her ball's whipped across the face of goal, and Fran Stenson flaps at it somewhat. Dent. Freeland to the Brighton loanee. Stenson had to get that one right again. McLachlan was putting pressure on the 23-year-old goalkeeper. Who looks to be keeping her third clean sheet in her last 4 games. A nice take again by Kendall, who's inviting Molly Pike forward. Pike's into the area. Was there a tug of the shirt? Pike continued to go, and the deflection takes it over the crossbar, out and behind for a corner, but the inquisition will continue. It was Izzy Collins again involved. He managed to get the block in at the end of that move. I think Pike is saying, well, look, there's no advantage there. Ball's gone out and behind. I'll take the penalty. Southampton failed to make the corner count. Elsewhere in the Women's Championship, Sunderland have pulled one back in the Tyne-Wear derby. It's now Sunderland 1, Newcastle 2. London City Lionesses have doubled their advantage, 2-0 up against Charlton. And Bristol City have found an equaliser. They are now level 1-1 against Blackburn Rovers. Kendall. Oh, Pike's going to profit there, and she's able to just set it up, putting it right on a plate for Rhianna Dean, who makes it 4 goals in as many games in the Women's Championship this season. Portsmouth at fault defensively. Casley taking a risk which didn't pay off. And then it was the simplest of finishes for Rhianna Dean. Who wasted absolutely no time in going over to thank her teammates. Molly Pike, who just put it on a plate for her. Three goals for Southampton, 3 different scorers, and surely now they're cruising towards all 3 points this afternoon. It might get even better from here. It's Lucia Kendall, and there is the 4th goal Molly Pike, who has run her socks off this afternoon, gets the goal that she deserves. Less than a minute after setting up Rihanna Dean, it's her turn to celebrate in front of those travelling fans. Lucia Kendall made the forward burst, and then Molly Pike was on hand for a second goal this season. And didn't she enjoy it? Well, the demolition derby is famous in South Coast derby folklore. There has just been another one, but this time it's in Southampton's favour. 4-0 at Fratton Park. A tough one for Portsmouth to take, that's for sure. You can see Georgie Freeland's reaction on the centre circle. It will be hurting. Childhood Portsmouth fan, from a family of Portsmouth fans. They would have travelled in their numbers today to support the Portsmouth number 7. But Southampton have just been more clinical. They've had more quality. And when the chances have come, they've been so efficient to take them. Lest we forget, they also hit the bar in the opening 2 minutes. Hornby's free kick. There was a really good chance for Erin McLaughlin. Chance to secure or restore some sort of pride on a difficult afternoon for those in blue. But it was straight at Fran Stenson. Chance for a fifth. And it's one which Rihanna Dean takes. She's only been on the pitch about 10 minutes and she's got 2 goals. She scored a brace at Sunderland. She scored a brace at the opposite end of the country now. And Southampton make it 5. Again, it was Pike with the assist. And Portsmouth's defenders just couldn't stay with her. Easily rounding Eve Annett and tapping into the empty net. It has been an onslaught on the Portsmouth goal in the last 5 minutes. One final change there for Southampton sees Rachel Brown coming on in place of the hometown hero Megan Collett at right back. This is really hard on Jay Sadler and his Portsmouth side, who have, for the most part, this afternoon contended with Southampton. Managed to deal with a lot of the attacking threat that they've offered, but in this second half they have come unstuck. And it means that their last few fixtures make for grim reading. 6-1 defeat against West Ham United in the Women's League Cup. That was followed by a 5-1 defeat to London City Lionesses last time out in the league, and it's 5 goals shipped at home to their local rivals this afternoon. All these Portsmouth fans want is just a goal, a nice memory of the afternoon to go home with, but Southampton aren't going to be letting that one happen anytime soon. Pike. I think the Portsmouth players will probably just be thinking, well, when is Izzy Chaplin going to do us a favour and call time on this? Because The last 5 minutes of this game, we've seen Southampton not only take the game away from Portsmouth, but really stamp their authority on this rivalry. We should, of course, mention Portsmouth are the newly promoted side to this level. Southampton far more established in the Women's Championship. But it has been a bit of a meteoric collapse at the end of this game. Pike, who has been at the heart of it, darts away from Izzy Collins. It was a lazy leg out in the end. She felt she needed to do something to prevent Pike from getting a sixth. We'll take the yellow card, no problem. But we'll hope that it means Southampton won't get their sixth of the game and their fifth of this second half, which really has been all Southampton. Three minutes into the 7 added on. Gemma Purfield, who of course scored the winner for Southampton last time the two sides met. That was an FA Cup match last December. It was much tighter, 2-1 victory for Southampton on that occasion. Held by Eve Annett. And the Portsmouth fans have unsurprisingly been filing out since that third goal went in. The Southampton fans, meanwhile, are all that you can hear. They've made the short trip east to play against Portsmouth, and they have absolutely battered them in this second half, led by Rhianna Dean and Molly Pike. To say as well, Lucia Kendall has really grown in influence as this game went on. There was a moment or two where we thought she may have to be withdrawn due to injury, but she's shaken off that knock. She has been the driving force in the final 10 minutes of this match to really take this game well out of Portsmouth's control. Ball sees Purfield roaring forward. There will be enough time for another Southampton corner. It is, of course, where their first goal of the afternoon came from, which was an own goal. That seems so long ago that Reva Casley turned past their own goalkeeper. Since then, it's been Collett, it's been a brace from Dean, and it's been Molly Pike that made it 5. In comes another ball. It was just taken off Paige Peake's head. There may have been a clash of heads actually between Tara Bourne and perhaps Reva Casley as well. Well, the last Southampton goal happened so quickly, so let's just take a look at it in full. Again, Kendall heavily involved, but look at the pace from Pike. Firstly to accelerate onto that, and the precision in the pass too. And Rhianna Dean doesn't need a second invitation in situations like that. Her 5th goal of the season in her last 4 appearances. looked up, saw Ivanets coming out of her goal and knew that she had the time and the ability to take it round the young goalkeeper and wrap up what has been a dominant victory in the derby for Southampton, who look to be ending this game week 5th in the table with a game in hand and with their goal difference in a very, very healthy position. Only one team in the division, as things stand, have a better goal difference, and they sit top of the table, Birmingham City. Portsmouth, meanwhile, well, they're going to be using their time after this game just to dissect what went wrong and those lapses in concentration defensively, because there are only 4 teams in the Women's Championship with a negative goal difference: Sunderland, Blackburn, Sheffield United. And just to put into perspective how poor defensively Portsmouth has been at the start of this season, Sheffield United have got -9 goal difference. That's the second worst. The worst is Portsmouth with -21. 22 goals conceded from their opening 6 Women's Championship games. And that doesn't include the 6-1 defeat that they had in the Women's League Cup to West Ham United as well. Plenty for Jay Sadler and his backroom staff to look at following the conclusion of this game. Eva Casley is finally back to her feet and able to walk off the pitch, which is a good sign. She was down for a prolonged period of time, the Portsmouth captain. Stenson takes a heavy touch under pressure, gets away with it momentarily. Peplow's there to help her out of danger. The goalkeeper didn't look too convincing there. But that is time at the end of a domination in the South Coast derby by those players in red and white. Southampton pick up their 5th straight win over Portsmouth and their 3rd Women's Championship victory of the season. An own goal set them on their way, but then it was 4 goals from their players which really took the game away from Portsmouth and mean that Southampton's early season impressive form continues going into next week's crunch tie against Birmingham City.